Hello everyone and welcome back. This is my night one reaction to the NFL draft, my round one thoughts and everything. And I have some opinions on certain picks that I wasn't the biggest fan of, to say the very least. But also, there were a lot of picks I really did love that I didn't see coming. So we're going to jump into it, and we're going to go in order of when all were picked. So if you want to go to your team spot, you want to hear my reaction to that, it will be in the order they were picked. So starting off first, Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza was going to be the Raiders pick as soon as the Raiders clinched the first overall pick. I want to say they clinched it like in December after they lost to the Giants. Maybe they didn't, but like everyone knew Mendoza is going to be the first pick. It was a question of who the team was. Raiders won that luxury. They get Fernando Mendoza. Talented quarterback. Will probably have to sit somewhat to start his career. I would like to play him because I would like to see him work on his pocket awareness, but he doesn't necessarily fit the offense that Kubiak has. I know he already has the playbook. I know he's already going through the installs, so he's at least already a head start of a lot of these rookies. He's getting the offense, and he's got Kirk Cousins to work with him. It's going to be fascinating to see how the Raiders handle this. I'm willing to bet he will play games this season. I don't know at what point. It's entirely possible he comes in, training camp, blows everyone away. He is, without a doubt, the best chance for them to be competitive this year. He is the guy. He's better than Kirk Cousins right now, and that's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing. I would say even if it's like a very close competition, you would give the edge to Mendoza so he can start in getting NFL in-game reps. Now moving on to the second pick, David Bailey. For those who don't know, I was lower on David Bailey than 98% of draft media. Now, when I say I'm lower on him, I didn't have him as like this second, third round grade. Well, actually, I did have a second round grade on him, but I give out very few first round grades every year. It's just what I do. But I didn't have him like as a not top 30 player, not a top 40 player. No, he was, I believe, off the top of my head, without looking at it on the screen, he was my 21st player on my board. I like David Bailey's speed rush. I love that speed rush ability. He has like rocket jets strapped to him. When he gets off, he goes, and it's quick, fast, violent, to the point. My question for him is, how will he handle power at the NFL level? I really think his power game is raw. It needs to be improved on. This isn't the pick I would have made if I'm the Jets. I would take an Arvell Reese. But the thing I've argued with the Jets is they're not going to be good. They have time to develop. They have time to take their time with players. David Bailey, I have been very open in saying I may not have him like as his end-all be-all player ranked right now. It would not shock me at all if he was the best defensive player in this draft class, because he has that raw ability that you can see the potential there, that he can become like that top pass rusher that the Jets desperately need. And that's not a bad thing to take the second overall pick. It might take a year, it might take 2 years. But if he eventually becomes that like pass rushing stud that you can build your defense around, yeah, that's worth the second overall pick. The third overall pick, I was informed, I want to say Monday night, maybe it was Tuesday night. It was one of those two nights. Jeremiah Love was going to be a Cardinal because Bidwell got involved. And it was after everyone started to say, hey, it's possible he goes 3. It was possible. I asked a couple people, and they were like, the owner wants it. He wants for ticket sales. He wants for merchandise. He wants to put it on. He wants to like advertise Love on the season tickets. They want to boost all that. I get it from that standpoint. Jeremiah Love is a fantastic talent. But the Cardinals are just... Bad teams stay bad for a reason. And it's not necessarily, I believe, all the coach's fault or the general manager's fault. Bad teams stay bad because the very tippity top of the organization is bad. Michael Bidwell is a bad NFL owner. I don't think any Cardinals fan will disagree with that statement. Bidwell wanted the monetary gain instead of the team game. Now, here's the thing with what he probably should have thought of. Hey, I can make more money on playoff revenue if we get there instead of season ticket sales and all of that. Now, Love, tremendous talent, will be the most impactful day one guy in this entire class, but you have concerns about him behind that offensive line. And also, the Cardinals, I believe they're paying him, like, with the guarantees and everything, he is the second highest paid running back in the NFL. That is insane to me. I get they were probably trying to move back. I get all that, but man, you just gotta sometimes tell the owner when he needs to just, like, back off. And maybe they were threatened to be fired. And I understand there's only 32 jobs. Just to me, this screams as just trying to chase short-term success when there's really no path for success at all for Arizona. Their offense line's horrible. Their quarterback room's not great. Jacoby Brissett, get your money, man. You're going to get killed behind this offensive line. Get your money before that happens. Their defense, I actually like their defense. I think it's got some solid pieces. It's just that offense, it's going to be so bad. And Jeremiah Love behind Paris Johnson and a bunch of scraps, it's not good. It's not good at all. Moving on to the Titans. I love this pick. I did not think this pick would happen. In my what I would do mocks, every single time the Titans are up, I put Carnell Tate there. Because you need to give Cam Ward something. I don't know if Tate will ever become a true one. I think he's a high-end 2, a very high-end 2, but I don't see him necessarily ever becoming that one. Like, look at Seattle last year with Cooper Kupp. That's the type of role I think Carnell Tate will be perfect in. And here's the thing, until you find that high-end one, Carnell Tate's a really good receiver, and he can do the deep ball stuff that Cam Ward is excellent at. He tracks the ball phenomenally well in air. He'll go up at the point of the catch it. He's got very good hands. He's got good route running ability. Cam Ward can hit him in stride. This is a very good, structurally sound pick that helps out your young quarterbacks and gives him a weapon. Something the Titans did not really give Cam Ward last year at all. Number 5, Arvell Reese of the Giants. I mean, that's the most Harbaugh pick in the world, right? Just be patient, be patient. Oh, so a lot of people's best player on the board fell to us. Okay, we'll pick him. That's just John Harbaugh. Like, what do you want me to say? I'm a Steelers fan. I saw it for years with the Ravens. That's what he does, and it works to perfection. Now, I did see they said Arvell Reese will be a off-ball linebacker, which is good. That's what he should be. He is not an edge rusher. You put him at edge, I just think you're limiting him so much. You put him at an off-ball linebacker, you move him around, you can still use him in pressure packages. You can still utilize his pass rush ability as an off-ball linebacker, but you get so much more versatility out of it. You can have him actually read and react to plays instead of just going after one thing. Arvell Reese is an extremely talented football player, and he's almost boring to talk about because he's so damn good. It's an amazing pick for the Giants, who should hopefully have a defense this year that's worthwhile. They have a new DC in there. Everything's new. It was not good last year. They did lose Dexter Lawrence, admittedly so, but like Arvell Reese, you got another guy we'll probably talk about here at 10 for the offense side of the ball. And you have where are they picking the second round? They should have a high pick. You have pick 37. You look at all the guys here on the board. Caden McDonald, that helps your run defense right there. Christian Miller, I think he goes higher. I'm lower on him than a lot of people, but he seems to have versatility. They can move him around on the interior D-line. I love Lee Hunter. Lee Hunter's one of my guys this year. That'd be another good pick for the Giants. They have the ability, and they won't get the same production as Sexy Dexy, but they have the ability to stabilize their front seven, and you have Arvell Reese added to it, plus offensive line protection that we'll get to in a second. Number 6, Mansoor Delane for the Chiefs. I had heard Dallas wanted Delane really badly, so in my mock draft that was predictive. I had them trading with the Commanders. I still had the Browns trading back. I had the Browns actually trading back with the Rams to take Carnell Tate. We'll talk about the Rams here in a little bit. But Mansoor Delane, I knew was either going to be a Chief, Saint, or somebody was going to have to jump them. And the Chiefs really wanted him. He's a very good coverage cornerback. He can come up, press man coverage. He's got some good ability in zone. I don't know if he ever enters the realm of like top elite level corners, which is why I never had like a first round grade on him personally. But Mansoor Delane is a plug and play guy. You know exactly what he is. His arm length maybe isn't the best, but still really good. He can come on. He can play in contested catch situations. He's a very talented football player. In a draft that really doesn't have as much high-end talent, take the guy you know can plug and play, because the Chiefs, they're not looking for a long rebuild. They're not looking to retool and bring in a bunch of young guys to develop. No, they want to win now, and Mansour Delane helps them win now. Now, speaking of teams that probably should do a full-on retool rebuild after going to the NFC Championship game a couple years ago, the Washington Commanders, they nailed this pick. I was so ruthlessly critical of their offseason last year. It was abysmal from start to finish. Their free agent pickup sucked. I hated their draft last year. They were old. Oh, wow. Old in Washington. Who would have thought? But they were old and just slow as could be. Sonny Styles is none of those. He's youth. He's speed. He's got great play recognition. He can be the green dot for a long time in Dan Quinn's defense. And also, he was my number one player on the board. His ability to take on blockers at the point of attack was amazing to me. It was better than Arvil Reese's. He just has that ability to be that transcendent linebacker that I'm honestly shocked was 7th overall. Like, I'm not going to badmouth Arvil Reese. Love him as a player. Love him. But if the Titans were maybe going to consider anybody other than Colonel Tate, like, it should have been Sonny Styles. Chiefs, I think the Chiefs should have drafted Sonny Styles 10 times out of 10. Jets, I mean, I gave my reason why the Jets picked for David Bailey. It works for me. I would still have taken Sonny Styles. Arizona should have taken just any position other than running back. But yeah, that's my thought process in this. Home run from the Commanders. Love it. Saints with Jordan Tyson. Okay. Jordan Tyson as a talent, I love. I am concerned about his injury history, but also, I don't get the fit with Chris Olave. I just don't see it. Chris Olave, to me, is just Jordan Tyson. They're 1-1. Inside, outside versatility, yeah. Not really the best at separating, but still great at the contested catch point. Solid route runners, everything. So this screams to me that you drafted Jordan Tyson to maybe move off Chris Olave here soon. And I get that Olave has a history of concussions. You don't really know how that plays out in the long term. That's a little worrying. So I get that, but like Jordan Tyson and Olave, they kind of just do exactly the same thing. Maybe you're going to build your offense out of entire Chris Olave's, which, I mean, he's a talented wide receiver. It could work. It could very well work. So I'm curious to see exactly what the Saints do with what their game plan is. Shuck is a great deep ball thrower. Jordan Tyson's pretty good at the deep ball. So if that's the logic there, yeah, I get it. But I'm just curious to see what happens with Chris Olave now. Number 9, Spencer Fano. Now, in my predictive mock, I had Spencer Fano going 9th to the Chiefs. I got the spot right for him, just wrong team. The Browns taking Spencer Fano. I'm fascinated by this because I lean towards him moving inside to guard. And I wonder if that's what Cleveland's going to do. But then again, if you're going to draft a guard, you should just draft Vavega Owane, who is just a beast. Fano, I'm worried about him in true passing sets. The only time we really saw on his film that he had true passing sets was when Utah was down to Texas Tech, and they ate him alive. But he's got good traits. He's got really good strength. He's a beast in the run game. And the Browns, they're going to be a run-first team. Like, you look at that team, their quarterback room, it's not good. But Judkins? Yeah, that guy was awesome last year. You got Dylan Sampson, who's another young running back. You got talent in that running back position. So if you want to do that strictly like, hey, we're just going to put him at tackle year 1, try him out, see if he can improve as the passing game. We'll have awesome run ability. And it's not like we're trying to win now so he can develop his pass protection throughout the season. I'm okay with that. I do wonder, though, if he'll eventually move into guard. This is not me at all saying, like, I don't like the player. I really do like Spencer Fano as a player. I'm just curious to see how Cleveland utilizes him. Number 10, Giants. Now, Francis Mauigoa. I am very happy because I was informed 2 days ago Mauigoa is playing guard to start out. He may have moved back to tackle, but he's going to start at guard. And I was happy because I was like, oh, they're right. Because the Giants last night said, yeah, he's going to start off at guard. And I wonder if he's going to move back to right tackle once. And I'm blanking on the right tackle's name off the top of my head. He's a veteran. Once he leaves, you're going to look to move him back to right. Maybe you kind of see if he can work out at left tackle if Andrew Thomas has a bunch of injuries. He has positional flexibility, which is really nice. And he's a kind of just a fun player. Like, I don't know if he'll be like this excellent guard. I'm going to say it again. You're drafting a guard. It should have been Owane. Like, phenomenal player. But Maui Noah, I still do really like. I am a little concerned about his injury. I believe it was like a vertebrae injury in his back. But he's a powerful run blocker. And he's got some good pass blocking ability. It's not me bad-mouthing his pass blocking ability. I like Maui Noah. But you're going to look at him in the Giants. They're going to have Cam Scatterbo. They're going to have Tyrone Tracy. And probably a guy they'll draft. How many picks do they have today? They got 1 second. Do they have a third? Oh, no. Do they not have a third? Okay, that makes it interesting. Okay, so I think their next pick would be 105 after their second rounder. I wonder if we see the Giants trade back from pick 37. Yeah, I could see them moving back to get a third rounder to take a running back. That would make a lot of sense to me. I overall, though, really do like this pick. Curious now to see how the Giants handle this. I'm fascinated now to see how they handled day 2, because I thought they had a third round pick. I didn't realize they didn't. Let's look at running backs. Okay, real quick before we go to the Cowboys, I want to look at running backs who could be available for them. Okay, so there's not a guy you'd be comfortable taking this insanely high to start out day 2. I like Mike Washington Jr. a lot. I like Jonah Coleman a lot. But both those, the earliest they'd probably go is back end of the second round. Emmett Johnson, I think he goes way higher than 137. That's a mistake. Okay, I'm going to look at fourth round guys here because I think all 4 of these guys will go day 2. Singleton could go day 2. I think he lands up day 3. Okay, I'm going to highlight 3 guys here for Giant fans. Le'Veon Moss, if he is healthy, he would be at the top here. He is a talented running back. He used to have injury concerns. Jaden Ott, very talented running back at Cal. Struggled behind a bad Oklahoma offensive line last year. I like him a lot more. He's my 5th graded out running back entire draft class. Good receiving back out of the backfield. Has some solid pass pro. Would really like to see him land in a good spot. That's probably someone you can get in 4th round. Maybe you could trade back in the 4th round and get him. And Damon Claiborne. Damon Claiborne has speed. He has good at bursts and everything. He could really help open up the Giants' just big play, explosive ability. Good. He would be a good 1-2 punch with Cam Scatterbo. Scatterbo, we all know, physical, hard-nosed runner. Claiborne is more speed, straight line guy. It would really help be a good balance between the 2 of them. So if that's the move I would go probably if I'm the Giants, I think that just works out the best for them. Now, moving on to the Giants' favorite team, joking, the Dallas Cowboys, and Caleb Downs at 11th overall. Bravo, Jerry. Bravo. Caleb Downs was my 3rd graded player. At one point, he was my number 1 overall player, but I ended up bumping Styles and Reese like right before the Combine, and then the Combine happened. I was like, wow, Styles is going to make everyone think I did that because measurables. Fun. But Downs, to me, just a cerebral, so intelligent player. I heard this on the NFL Stock Exchange draft recap from Trevor Sikkema, and he had Malik Neighbors on it. I haven't watched the clip yet. I encourage everyone to go find it, though. Malik Neighbors was talking about playing against Downs when Downs was at Alabama, and it was Neighbors last year at LSU. And Downs was calling out the plays of where guys are going and everything. Neighbors wanted Downs at pick 10. That's a divisional rival that is probably not the happiest guy today. Not because he doesn't like Maui Noah, but because he knows how good Caleb Downs is. That should pump Cowboys fans up so much. Nick Saban speaks glowingly about him. Nick Saban, when he finds a safety he likes, he will never stop talking about them. And that's just like everyone who seems to have interacted with Caleb Downs, who has been on the football field with Caleb Downs, who has just seen him prepare, thinks the world of him as a football player. And it's hard to disagree. Caleb Downs is awesome. He has great on-ball skills. He's a good tackler. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the fastest safety. He's not Dylan Thieneman. I think McNeil Warren's probably faster than him. But his play recognition ability is so amazing. He'll get to the spot before those guys because he knows where the ball is going. You can almost describe him as a slower version of Troy Polamalu, who is a Hall of Famer. That's how good Caleb Downs is. That's the type of player Dallas got at pick 11. They have to trade up, yeah, but it's Caleb Downs. It's worth it. Miami Dolphins at pick 12. Okay. If it wasn't for this, I'm circling Jeremiah Love for anyone listening, this would be the pick I would hate the most at this point because I do not like Caleb Proctor. I love Caleb Proctor, the defense tackle from southeastern Louisiana. Love him. I have him graded out as the better Proctor. Caden Proctor, to me, I just never bought into. I understand there's talk of moving him to guard. I don't see it. I don't see that attitude. I don't see that ferocity. There was so much talk about, oh, the Lions are going to draft him. Lions. I watched Caden Proctor. I was like, guys, he's the antithesis of Dan Campbell. Nick Saban talking about, I believe it was yesterday, talking about like, if you're not on top of him, he'll come in overweight. He'll come in needing to get in shape. Like, Caden Proctor, he just doesn't have that personality that screams, he's going to be a dude in the NFL. His athletic traits are tremendous. Do not get me wrong. He's 6'7" and 350. Can move insane for that size. But he's not a left tackle. He gets beat way too often. You're going to move him into guard. Yeah. Can he handle getting bounced around? Can he handle that extra thump in him? I don't think so. He's a big, strong dude. That's your only hope there. I don't get this pick. I don't. And it comes from the guys who worked with the Packers, so there's a thought process that, hey, the Packers know offensive linemen. Maybe you're just being an idiot here with Proctor, and that's entirely possible. But there was never a second I watched Proctor this past draft cycle, and I thought, man, that dude's a first-round pick. In fact, as I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. Wow. Cell service sucks sometimes. But talking about more of him, his ability with hand fighting, he gets out of position. He cannot handle a speed rush to save his life. And power, yes. I've seen guys outpower him. Like, he just gets himself in such bad situations that he can't win. And that's just a concern for me, especially if you're picking him at pick 12. Now, as I scroll down here, I have to scroll down a decent ways. I have him graded out as my 102nd player on the board. If that doesn't tell you how little I think he'll adjust to the NFL, I don't know what does. That's a 90-pick difference from where I have him ranked. It's just not good. It's not good to me at all. I'm just going to hit no on that. Wow. Okay, I did not. 25% of PFF users like this pick. Wow. So it looks like I'm in the majority. That shocks me, actually. Moving on to the Rams. The shocker, I got tipped off. I want to say close. I can't exactly remember, but I knew before it really went public on social media. And I texted my dad, holy shit. I did not think Ty Simpson was going to go this high. And I'm just going to pull up his response here because I was much higher on Ty Simpson than he was. He was a little lower on Ty Simpson. Okay, so I texted him, when the Rams pick is announced, just text me your immediate reaction. WTF, all caps. It was a shocker to both me and him. I thought Ty Simpson would go round 1. I thought he would. I thought he would, someone trade in the back end of the first round, draft him, 5th-year option, all good. I did not think he'd go 13th overall. And mind you, I like Simpson. I really thought, hey, if the Steelers drafted him round 1, I wouldn't complain. It's a future pick. It's going to be something that may not work out. It may work out. It could be really good in the future. It could really bottom out. But the Rams, I just never would have expected it. I thought this pick was going to be someone to instant impact win, like Rueben Bain Jr. Whew. Wow, I'm just picturing Rueben Bain Jr. on one side and Jared Verse on the other side. Power rush, just wow. Kenyon Sadiq, I thought Sadiq was more likely to be the pick there. Monroe Freeling, Maxi Amateur, Akeem Mesidor, I would have expected more. Malachi Lawrence, I would have. Like Casey Concepcion, Thieneman, Mekhi Lemon. Like so many guys that are picked after him. I would have thought the Rams would have gone with that. Ty Simpson here, it feels like a reach, but Sean McVay's going to work with him. And he fits beautifully into that offense. So that's the part they're looking at. They probably won't be in the position to draft a quarterback next year. So they probably think this is the highest we're going to be picking for a couple of years. We're going to have Stafford. We kind of want to stay contending. We don't want to really fall off and have a bunch of down years. So we want to stay at the top. And we're in the NFC West. The Seahawks are going to be good for a while. The 49ers are going to be good for a while. The Cardinals will be in the basement for a while. So let's try and get this guy. If it works, we're geniuses. If not, we have enough goodwill. We can take another bite out of the apple. And that's what I kind of view this pick as. Viveka Ione. I just want to see this. Only 75% of users like this pick. Okay. That is wrong. I'm going to believe the 25% are fellow Steelers fans like myself who are just saddened that he didn't fall to 21 or the Steelers didn't trade up for him. Ione was my 5th player on the board. He is a perfect Raven. He is strong at the point of attack. He is physical. He is nasty. He is a beast. And he's so good. He's athletic. He can get out in the open space. He will be the perfect offense lineman for the Baltimore Ravens. This guy should be a career-long Baltimore Raven. There is no, hey, we'll let him go for comp picks. There should be none of that. It should be a career-long Raven that just is a monster for them for a long, long time. How did Rueben Bain fall here? Like, everyone thought the Bucs were going to trade back. Right here with the talk of the Steelers, it's pretty much been confirmed that the Steelers were going to trade with the Bucs, and they probably were going to take Mekhi Lemon. But the Bucs saw Rueben Bain's on the board? Like, what? They drafted him. Rueben Bain Jr. was my number 1 edge by a long shot. He was my only first-round graded out edge. Power at the point of attack. Really, really good run defender. His arm length doesn't worry me at all. If he was more of a speed rusher, yeah, that would get me concerned. But he knows how to get inside. He knows how to fight. The best way to describe it is if you're a UFC fan and you watch these guys with shorter arms fight these guys with longer arms, they get inside and they just push you around because they're in their closed space. They are in that ability. You could move him inside, and here's the thing. He has actually probably the same arm length as an offensive guard. He can battle that. That's a fair matchup. Move him outside, face a tackle. You could really maneuver Rueben Bain Jr. around, and I believe he's going to have splashes. To me, he was the guy that, if the Jets wanted a pass rusher, Rueben Bain Jr., because I believe long-term stability, he will be that. And even if he doesn't become an elite pass rusher, he's such a good run defender. He will be more than worth the pick for the Bucs. Moving on to the Jets, speaking of the Jets, Kenyon Sadiq. I was lower on Kenyon Sadiq than a lot of people because I just worry about him as a tight end. And the Jets pretty much said, yeah, no, he's our tight end. We're going to run 2 tight end set with him and Mason Taylor, as that was pointed out when they drafted Omar Cooper later, but we'll get to that. It's a very good move for the Jets because he's a developmental guy. I'm using the same logic that I used David Bailey. They're not trying to win now. You give him a year or 2 to really learn, really get adjusted in the NFL, and by the time you have your quarterback ready to go, you probably will draft him next year, but like year 2 is when you can expect the QB jump. Kenyon Sadiq, that's usually the tight end jump, is around 2 years after being drafted. David Bailey should hopefully have the power game by then, and you have a reliable slot receiver in Omar Cooper Jr. I really like what the Jets did around 1. Even though I had lower grades on the first 2 guys I selected, I see the path, and I see with what they're doing, and I like it. The Lions, Blake Miller. I've had this pick for around 2 weeks. I found out that Blake Miller I was told this for word. Blake Miller is the most Dan Campbell guy in this entire draft class. He has that ferocity that Campbell loves, and he loves hard physical coaching. That's Blake Miller. I just described the perfect Dan Campbell guy. And I think the Lions realized he was the perfect guy because the owner meeting, it was said, hey, Penei Sewell might be a left tackle because Blake Miller is a right tackle. There was no way around it. He will be the right tackle for the future, and that's just going to be it. Penei Sewell, Blake Miller, two athletic freaks. Yeah, no, you'll be good. 18, Caleb Banks. I like this pick. I do. You give Brian Flores, a guy who is a freak of nature that can really win up front, a good run defender, good pass rusher. It is perfect. I know Vikings fans were upset it wasn't Dylan Thieneman. It was never going to be Dylan Thieneman. Flores does not play young secondary pieces. He doesn't believe in it. He doesn't like it. It's a very hard, complex defense to pick up. Thieneman was never going to be the guy. They will draft a guy maybe today that will learn, develop. I wouldn't expect him to start much next year. Any DB they draft, just don't have expectations for them year one. Year two is when Flores will really utilize him because he has a defense and requires so much out of his secondary that they need to adjust. They need to learn it. And Caleb Banks, you're giving Flores this guy that just strong, 6'6". What was his weight? Do they have weight on PFF? No, they don't. Okay. Strong, big guy. He has had 2-foot injuries, which is a concern for a guy his size, but if Flores can really work with him, develop him, you got a monster in the interior of the defensive line, which is something the Vikings could desperately use when you're in division with Caleb Williams, who looks awesome, Jared Goff, who is a really, really good plus starting quarterback, and Jordan Love, who is a really, really good plus starting quarterback. You need that guy to bring pressure from the interior. Caleb Banks can do that. Panthers, Monroe Freeling. Now, I want to talk about the Steelers here with this pick, and I'll get more Steelers discussion because I've seen all that happen. I am a Steelers fan, so I have my thoughts on how the Mekhi Lemon situation played out for them. But I want to compare Freeling and Iancho real quick. I liked Iancho more than Freeling, and I understand why Freeling was taken first. He is a left tackle. Iancho is a right tackle. But I watched their tape. They both are raw. They both will have some learning pains. And it's just going to be the case. Freeling and Iancho have the potential to be the two best tackles in this draft class without a doubt. And it could be 4 years from now, we're looking back at this being like, how are they the 19th and 21st pick? But they're both raw. They both have to learn. Canales is a perfect coach for Monroe Freeling. Georgia, run first. They like to run it a whole bunch. Let's just pull up Monroe Freeling's ability. Okay, wow. I'll disagree with some of the grades here. He was much better in the run blocking than that. But pass blocking set, you like that, but Georgia ran the ball a lot. Look at the run block snaps, 422. Dave Canales is a run-first type of offense coordinator. Freeling's used to that. He knows what he has to do. The Panthers want to build an offensive line to protect Bryce Young, but they also need to build an offensive line and keep it that they can run the ball efficiently behind. We saw that last year with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. Canales knows what he's doing with the offensive line and how he wants it structured. It's a good pick for the Panthers. Even if I am lower on Freeling, I'm a little worried about how Georgia's offensive line coach works with guys. I don't really feel like he does the best job of getting them ready for the NFL, but Freeling is talented enough. I'm more willing to take the bet on him than other guys I've seen in the past couple years. Now, let's talk about Lemon before I get in the whole phone call controversy thing, whatever, the most annoying thing from draft night. Mekhi Lemon is a really good short yardage player, really good at getting plays and breaking them open. This move means A.J. Brown will be traded on June 1st. It's going to happen. There's no other way around it. He will be traded on June 1st. Mekhi Lemon, he can come in and he can play, not A.J. Brown's role, but he can play some role. I don't know what in this Eagles offense because he is the antithesis of what Jalen Hurts succeeds with. Jalen Hurts succeeds with deep ball type players. Mekhi Lemon, that is not his strength. Devonta Smith, that's his strength. A.J. Brown, that's his strength. I don't get this. I don't. And if the Eagles try to restructure their offense so Jalen Hurts uses Mekhi Lemon as this short intermediate player, you're just neutering Jalen Hurts' strength. He is a deep ball thrower. It's what made the Eagles so dynamic a couple years ago, is that everyone had to bring their safeties up because the Eagles could just run all over you. You needed as many guys in the box because Saquon Barkley was a beast. That offensive line did everything to open it up. And then no safety help. Oh, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, anyone else you want to go deep? Yep, we got you. Yeah, that's what Jalen Hurts excels at. Mekhi Lemon does not do that. I don't get this pick at all for the Eagles. I just don't. This would have been better. Honestly, here's what I'll say. These two should have swapped picks. Get that young right tackle in there that you can work with, that you can develop into maybe the eventual successor to Lane Johnson. That's the type of move that the Eagles should have made. Here, who's some... Caleb Lomu, yeah, that would have been good. Keelan Rutledge, that would have been an awesome Eagle. And just like some of the other guards on the board, you weren't going to probably take a guard. You weren't going to trade up and take a guard most likely. But like, man, you should have traded above the Panthers probably to get Freely. I don't get this move for the Eagles. Mekhi Lemon, I really do like as a player. This is not me bad-mouthing the player. I don't get how he fits in that offense. That's my biggest concern with this pick. And maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe he'll become this excellent deep ball player. Or maybe Jalen Hurts has evolved his game. That's possible. But on paper, the schematic fit makes no damn sense. Now, Max Ianshore, Mekhi Lemon. We've all heard the story. We've all seen it. The phone call with Mekhi Lemon to the Steelers and the Eagles called him. Teams do that all the time. It's not a story. It's not a big deal. I think I saw this earlier today. It's happened a couple times before. It happened with the Cowboys were on the phone with Ryan Shazier, and then the Steelers took him. Steelers fans weren't complaining about that. Then you look back to, I can't remember the exact year. I want to say it was the 2015 draft class. I'm pretty sure it was the pick the Saints got in the Jimmy Graham trade. But they were on the phone with Reuben Foster. The 49ers took him. Well, they took Ryan Ramczyk. Oh, and who did the Cowboys take after Ryan Shazier? Zach Martin. And I'm speaking to Steelers fans here. Stop making a mountain out of a molehill. It happens. It's the NFL draft. The GM wasn't unprepared. It just happens all the frickin' time. Max Ianshore is a very good young tackle prospect. May he struggle early on? Absolutely. He's got some raw ability. He has issues against power, but his footwork is excellent. His pass pro is beyond better than current day Broderick Jones. We're not even talking Broderick Jones coming out of Georgia. We're talking about current day Broderick Jones. He is a better player than Broderick Jones. Broderick may never play football again. And even if he does, Broderick did not put enough good film on the board to say, you need to make sure I'm the left tackle. He was a replacement player at best during his time as a Steeler. Max Ianshore gives you hope that you have two strong tackles for the future, so when you draft your quarterback next year, you have that stability on that offensive line. Stop complaining that they didn't get Mekhi Lemon. They maybe did the smarter, more sensible move instead of the flashy, sexy move. Now, moving on to the Chargers. Akeem Mesidor. Now, Akeem Mesidor, 25 years old, older prospect. Chargers, don't care. I don't care about that whatsoever. I did not think he would become a Charger. I thought he was going to be a Buck, but Ruben Bain fell, so the Chargers gladly took him. Now, Mesidor immediately becomes their second best pass rusher behind Khalil Mack. Maybe he could be better than Khalil Mack this season. Khalil Mack, he is aging like a fine wine, but eventually it's not going to last. Akeem Mesidor, he is 25 years old. He is an older prospect. He can come in and be a really good pass rusher at a high level. I had him graded out in the 50s, not because I didn't think he was a talent, no, but because I looked at the age and I just didn't know how much contract value you could get out of him. The Chargers, they're in the position that they are trying to win a Super Bowl. Contract value be damned. Give me the best player that can help me win games right now. And where they were picking, you look at everyone, That's Akeem Mesidor. Great pick for the Chargers. And it honestly gives me hope that, hey, they may have a pass rush that's actually workable here this season. The Dallas Cowboys. Malachi Lawrence. I love Lawrence. Let's see. Can I pull up his... Okay. True pass rush grade set, 91.6. Pass rush win rate, 19.2. Pass rush grade, 89.5. Sure, yeah, 66.2 run defense grade. Get me this pass rusher on steroids and just let me see with what you can work with him. He is awesome. Great first step. Violent hands. He is physical. He is aggressive. He will be perfect coming off the edge. I've seen a lot of people actually compare him to DeMarcus Lawrence, which I don't know if I like that as much. I don't really see them fitting the same kind of role. I look at Malachi Lawrence more or less a stand-up guy that's just going to come and destroy your quarterback over and over again. DeMarcus Lawrence is more or less the physical guy that's just going to beat you up. I love the pick for Dallas. I love Malachi Lawrence. 24, Browns, Casey Concepcion. This pains me as a Steeler fan. It honestly does. I love Casey Concepcion so much. He was wide receiver 3 for me. He was one of my first-round grades. He was actually, I believe, my last first-round grade. Just positional versatility, can play inside, can play outside. Best guy at being press man. And I know everyone's going to point out, drop rate. I don't give a damn. Drop rate from college to the NFL rarely translates. Guys who have high drop rates in college usually settle down in the NFL because their quarterback is better. And guys with low drop rates sometimes have high drop rates in the NFL. George Pickens is one of those cases. He had a very low drop rate in college, high drop rate in the NFL. Other guys who have had high drop rates in college and low drop rates in the NFL, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, had a really, really high one. You also had Puka Nacua was also pretty high. I'm actually going to pull up the list because I actually have it saved. Maybe I got Amon-Ra wrong. Let's see. Okay. High drop rate in college. Puka, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Brian Thomas Jr., Jordan Addison, DK Metcalf. They all, I think DK and Addison and BTJ and Zay Flowers were above KC's drop rate. Then you have Pickens, who has a 2.2%, and it's now a 7% drop rate, including a 12% drop rate in 2024. CeeDee Lamb had a 9% drop rate in the NFL. Amon-Ra had a higher drop rate in college than Lamb, but his drop rate in the NFL is 3%. Lamb's is 7.6%. Drop rate can be many things. It can be how the player is seeing the ball. It could be just the gloves they're using. Or it can be the fact Marcel Reed is not a capable quarterback whatsoever, and he just did not throw many good balls. Casey Concepcion will be fine. He'll have better hands than you expect. I wouldn't say great, but he'll have better hands than you expect. He's dangerous in the return game. He's the best guy at being press man this entire draft class. He's a splash player. I love the move for the Browns. Moving on, 25. Chicago Bears take Dylan Thieneman. This is very fascinating because Vikings fans are very, very upset with you, Chicago. I hope you guys are okay with having Minnesota Vikings fans upset with you. Are you guys okay? No, but realistically, great pick for Chicago. Dylan Thieneman is a deep roaming safety that can come up. He can play with ferocity. He can come up and play the run. He has great athleticism. Probably the most athletic safety in this draft class. Moves around the field great. Has great ball skills. I had a big gap between him and Downs, and that's not because I don't think highly of Thieneman, it's because I think so ridiculously highly of Caleb Downs. I still think very highly of Dylan Thieneman. He was one of my highest second round grades. Dude's a beast. Will be a beast for a long time. Chicago, love the pick. Keelan Rutledge. I was almost jumping for joy when I saw this because I just was picturing Keelan Rutledge just battling Jeffrey Simmons and getting to watch that all-22 film. Hello, heaven. Hello, just two monstrous, ferocious interior players just beating the hell out of each other. Man, that's just awesome. That's awesome for me. That sold me on the pick right then there. But to talk about Keelan Rutledge, he had a medical at one point. He had a motorcycle accident. I want to say it was in 2024. Might have been 2023. I believe it was like either during his time in Middle Tennessee State or right after he transferred from Middle Tennessee State. But he was in a car accident. He had a foot injury. The foot got infected at one point, and they nearly had to amputate his toe. But here's the thing. I'm just going to pull up him real quick. Let's see. He missed no freaking games. Yeah, okay. Nope, he's good. Yeah, no, he's good to go. Toughness, just awesome. Texans fans, I know you're probably going to see, he wasn't as high on consensus boards and all that. The Texans need help in the interior offensive line. They got a monster who will fight like a mother effer. Love the pick. Miami Dolphins, Chris Johnson. I like this pick a lot. Chris Johnson is a physical coverage corner. Really good man-to-man. Good hand fighting. Can come up, play the ball really well. In contested catch situations, I like him a lot more than a lot of wide receivers. Just in the league, I think he'll have his good share of wins. I wouldn't be shocked if he wins the majority of his contested catch situations this year as a rookie. Very good hand fighting, physical. He would not shock me at all if he made a massive jump going from college football to the NFL, just because he was at San Diego State University. He now gets higher tier coaching. He gets a lot more ability to really kind of grow and develop into this top end corner. Love the pick for Miami. Caleb Lomu for the Patriots. So Will Campbell's moving inside. That's what this pick told me. He is a left tackle. Did he even play right tackle? Yeah, he played some games of right tackle, but he is predominantly a left tackle. That's what he'll be at with the Patriots. It's really not hard to figure out this pick. They want to move Campbell inside. Campbell struggled in the playoffs and the Super Bowl at left tackle. Caleb Lomu, he may have his growing pains, absolutely, but Campbell is better suited for being a guard with his arm length, as was shown many times by the Seattle Seahawks. And just good, solid pick. Really nothing to critique. Now, I'll critique the Chiefs because I don't like Peter Woods all that much. Outside of Avian Terrell, I am lower on every Clemson player because I just don't like their coaching staff. I feel like their coaching staff doesn't work with them well enough, doesn't give them the tools to go to the NFL, and they're so behind everyone else, it puts them just behind people. He's an explosive athlete, 100%, 6'3", 300 pounds. He just doesn't really translate well to the NFL to me. I think he's going to get beat up. I think he's just not physical enough. I'm just not a fan. I don't have anything else to say then. I'm just not a fan of this pick. I was lower on Peter Woods. I knew he would go higher. I didn't think he would go round one. I honestly didn't think we'd see a defensive tackle outside of maybe Christian Miller go round one. But yeah, I got nothing to add to this pick. I don't like it. I really would have rather seen them go with an offensive. Well, there's not really an offensive lineman go. I would rather see them take Omar Cooper Jr. And I'm lower on Cooper Jr. than a lot of people. I have him. I can't remember. I had him below a bunch of other wide receivers still, but I still had a top 43. He's top 45 at minimum on me. I can't remember exactly. He's in the high 40s somewhere compared to Peter Woods, who I have in the low 90s. So yeah, no, I'm just not a fan of Peter Woods. Omar Cooper Jr., slot receiver, does the thing well. I don't think he'll ever transcend to being a high-end 2, a high-end 1. I think his perfect role is a good, solid 3 receiver that is just good, catch the ball. I compared him a lot to Jalen Naylor, honestly. Good after the catch, good at getting open. There's not really a whole lot to add to there. He's a solid football player in the Jets who just need to add more talent. Makes a lot of sense. 31, Keldrick Falk to the Titans. Keldrick Falk, I was really high on, and he was my one guy that I take traits. That is my traits guy. I'm allowed to take him. You're allowed to take one guy that you believe in just because of his traits. That was Keldrick Falk this draft class for me. He's working with Robert Saleh, quick, and he is, I want to say he is 6'6" and 280 at the combine, 275. He's a big dude. You can move him inside. You can move him outside. He's got great coaching from Saleh, working with him every single day. He's going to be a better player than a lot of people expect, especially because he's got an elite defensive-minded coach helping him and bringing him along. Now, to wrap this up, pick 32, the Seattle Seahawks. Anyone else shocked they stuck in pick? It felt like everyone traded up above them So no one else was talking to them. They were like, damn you, Rams, we wanted to get picks so Arizona could take Ty Simpson. Actually, maybe the Rams did that just to mess with Seattle. That's my headcanon now. But the Seahawks stay pick. They take Jadarian Price. Jadarian Price made a lot of sense for Seattle. They need a running back. They lost Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. Zach Charbonnet is coming off a torn ACL. I believe it happened in the divisional matchup. Maybe it was the NFC Championship game, but I believe it was the divisional game. Like, you need another running back. He doesn't have a whole lot of snaps. And that's something that very much intrigued me. And now, my dad's a Seahawks fan. So, I was talking about with him, and he didn't think they'd draft him. He thought they would maybe wait a little bit longer to draft a running back. And when the pick came in, me and him both texted each other like, we know it's Price. Because no one else made sense at that point. But the thing I want to point out here is his workload. He just doesn't have a heavy workload. I would much rather see Zach Charbonnet be like the lead bell cow this year. And here's the thing, like, he was really good in the workload he got. Really good, just he doesn't have the experience you want out of a first-round pick running back. I think he'll eventually become a really good player, just probably some growing pains year one as he gets used to a heavier workload. Year two, I think we'll see more or less him come onto the scene. But that's going to wrap this up. I hope you all enjoyed my round one reaction. I might come back tomorrow and do a round two reaction because I'm crazy. It might be round three as well. It might be a whole day two reaction, and I'm sure in the coming weeks there'll be more me talking about this draft class, me looking at teams' draft classes, ranking them, how I think they did, picks I like, picks I didn't like. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Like this video if you liked it. Share this. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy day two of the NFL Draft.